Welcome back into the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. We are here at the NFL Combine with some more Combine news. As it relates to the Dallas Cowboys, we are once again discussing some of the formal meetings that have gone on between the Cowboys and some of the notable NFL draft prospects. As a reminder, sometimes these end up not being formals because the player got confused, and we don't talk to every player at the same time. Sometimes they don't remember, but it gives us good indications of what positions the Cowboys have some interest in targeting. Now, if you want a full breakdown on all the different meetings, all the players the Cowboys will have formal visits with, or have had, I should say, formal visits with, then like this one, we can knock that out for you before we leave, or even once we get back to the studios on Saturday. We're going to come back to more on the Combine meetings here, but there was some news that came out right before I was about to publish on that video from my boy Nick Harris over the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. He reports that the Osa Odighizuwa contract extension could be higher than what had been expected by myself and others here and what had been previously reported. Here's what Nick wrote. In addition, the Cowboys remain in negotiations with starting defensive tackle Osa Odighizuwa on an extension. Expected to be one of the richest defense tackle deals in the NFL. The expectation is now that Osa will land a deal north of $90 million over the span of 4 years. That's $22.5 million per year. That's a lot of money. That is significantly more than what I would ideally be comfortable with, frankly. There is obvious sticker shock involved there. The defense tackle market exploded last offseason. I get that. I'm kind of wondering if Osa's camp is doing a very good job of getting other teams to kind of play off of the Cowboys and get more money out of Dallas in the end. I'll also make note that Nick reports that there's still some more work to be done, and this might actually stretch into next week and not be as close as I had previously thought. But there is a mutual desire for things to get done. That's a lot of money, man. I don't know about that one. We'll see what the actual numbers come in. Maybe the guaranteed number is lower, and I'm sure they'll use void deals if they're smart to keep the cap hit down pretty low. At that point, it would probably not be more than $10 million, but that's a lot of cash. So we'll keep an eye on Osa. And then I also want to mention Jourdan Lewis, with Harris reporting the Cowboys have made an offer to retain him, which I do hope happens. This one will not be nearly as expensive as Osa Odighizuwa will be, even if Osa's deal is still less than the franchise tag, which is like at 24 for defensive tackles. I want to keep J. Lou. I think he is a damn good nickel corner. I am very excited about him. I made the comment, we'll get to the rest of the Combine stuff here that I filmed previously, about if you lose him, go add Jahdae Barron, who had speed concerns going in and just ran a 4.4 unofficial 40-yard dash as we sit here filming this. So, he ain't going to get to you in the second. I would hate him at 10 if you lose some corner stuff. But I would like to retain Jourdan Lewis. So do you agree? Do you want J. Lou back in Dallas? A for yes, B for no. Let me know in the comment section of today's show. One more couple rapid-fire notes here from Nick Harris. Tank Lawrence and the Cowboys meeting tonight. Now, I will make note that the Tank Lawrence agent, Rico Dowdle, Chauncey Golston, Jourdan Lewis are all the same. So there's a lot of easier work for the Cowboys. We're talking to the same agent over and over again. There is a number in mind for Tank from his camp. See if the Cowboys get there. We'll see about Rico Dowdle. I think they will probably allow him to test free agency, and we'll see what the contract offer looks like for him. And then Chauncey Golston as well. If you're paying Osa 22-ish, tough for me to see them retaining Chauncey Golston. We'll keep you covered on that as we head over to the other stuff we've already filmed on the Combine-focused centric elements. Of note, first up, no quarterback formals have been had by the Dallas Cowboys. I know there was a report from an online aggregator that you shouldn't ignore because they don't know what they're talking about. ML Football, meet me outside the Starbucks, buddy. Per Todd Archer, the Cowboys are not using any of their 45 formal interviews on quarterbacks this year. Remember, you get up to 45 of them, 18 minutes long each. Sorry, my contacts were freaking out on me. It's not a huge surprise. When we were doing, before Todd Report, actually, before we were talking to everybody, no quarterbacks that said they met with the Cowboys. There were no formals, so I'm not surprised that in the end, Todd has the details that they're meeting with other prospects instead on that front. And yes, that includes Quinn Ewers. I know there was the report that the Cowboys had met with him formally. Not the case. I'm going to trust Todd every single time over ML Football. I would say keep an eye out for some potential 30 visits here, though. I wouldn't be overly shocked if you saw the Cowboys use a couple 30 visits on different quarterback prospects. Because I do think drafting a quarterback on day 3 is a real possibility. I think there is a real chance the Cowboys choose to use one of those 5th-round picks maybe on a quarterback. Now, another player that did not have a formal meeting with the Cowboys was Ashton Jeanty. I would not read into that. The formal visits are 18 minutes long. They're valuable. Get you some background info, get some more information on maybe a guy you hadn't met with at the Senior Bowl or at the Shrine Game, whatever. You don't have to meet with Ashton Jeanty, though, because Ashton Jeanty is a Dallas day. He is from Frisco. He is eligible to count in that category, and you can also bring him in as a 30 visit, and I think you can even kind of cheat a little bit. Not cheating, but, have him count as a Dallas day guy, even though you brought him in for a 30 visit with the process there on a different day. There are some tweaks and adjustments you can make to the rules there. So he's from Frisco. I would not read in anything to this. This is the Cowboys, frankly, handling this properly. They know they're going to get their time with Ashton Jeanty. I know that Clarence Hill's reported he's already going to be a 30-day visit. You don't need to burn a combine meeting on a guy you're going to get an up-close and personal look at in a month or so. So don't read anything into that. He is still very much an option for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, do you want to draft Ashton Jeanty at number 12 overall? So no trade down scenarios here. Why for yes and for no? Let me know in the comment section of today's show. All right, now let's dive into the formal meetings. This is all based on what the players said. It's between myself, Patrick Walker, Nick Harris, Tommy Yarish, Jay Tuck. I don't think any fan base, any team gets more information on their formal combine visits than the Cowboys do, because we're all asking those questions. All right, Ted McMillan, who is allegedly not going to run at the combine, which I think indicates, maybe he wasn't going to test the greatest and he wasn't going to run, sub 4.5, which I didn't think was going to happen anyway. I still have a lot of interest in Ted at 12. I think as an outside vertical X receiver, which you desperately need and do not have, I think that would be a really strong pick at 12. I don't know if he gets there, though. People keep telling me that players are sliding. Mason Graham and Ted McMillan sliding, but no one has answers for who's moving up. So we'll see, but I think there is a chance of that one for McMillan in particular. All right, Matthew Golden, the first of 2 Texas receivers. See what I did there with that? Yeah, it's clever. Golden, I was very impressed by this year, especially in the back half of the season. He kind of took over. I don't know if he's going to check in at where in my top 30, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be in my top 30, behind guys like McMillan and Burden and right alongside Emeka Egbuka. No formal meeting right now for Egbuka. Burden chose not to tell people, which is, I got no issue with that at all. It's fine with me. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's an option. Cowboys hunting receivers, including Isaiah Bond, the other of the 2 Texas wide receivers. I am excited to see how fast he tests tonight at the NFL Combine. We'll have breakdown winners and losers, by the way, on our Chat Sports channel. He didn't have the year I was hoping for. He's fast. He can fly. You don't have speed. Second-round pick is dangerous for me right now. Love him in the 3rd. But if you want some speed, which you don't have, Isaiah Bond checks that out pretty well. The surprising name that was on this list was Kaden Prather, the Maryland wide receiver. One of 2, by the way, very good Maryland wide receivers. I have not done any study on Prather and on Ty Felton outside of the, watching them live. West Virginia transfer to Maryland was better in 2023 from an average perspective. Drops went down though this year. The quarterback was a little bit better in 2023 than in 2024, but receiver is an obvious target point for the Dallas Cowboys. Today's show is made possible by PrizePicks. It is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. It is available in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. It is the best place to get real money sports action. They invented the flex play, which means you can get a pick wrong and still cash out. You can double your money, even if your lineup isn't perfect. You can get in on baseball PrizePicks. There are some combine PrizePicks slates as well available for you guys. I know my boy Jeremy Chugs cooked one up, but I didn't like it that much, so I didn't want to show it to you guys. Basketball, of course, ongoing as well. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Link up in the comment section and the description of today's show. Let's go to running backs here. Omarion Hampton, the North Carolina running back, had a formal meeting with the Dallas Cowboys. This is a prime, I think, round 2 candidate. I know Mel Kiper mocked him at 12. I wouldn't get your hopes up. People keep telling me, oh, Mel always gets the Cowboys pick right. No, he got it right with Tyler Smith, who he said was a right tackle. He got lucky and had the wrong logic behind it. But I do think Hampton would be a great round 2 pick for the Cowboys. Excited to see how he tests, and Caleb Johnson. I think both those guys are neck and neck for the RB2 spot behind the aforementioned Ashton Jeanty. I've heard some buzz that maybe Johnson's going to test better than I thought he was going to. So I'm excited to see how that goes on Saturday. I might have said tonight for the running backs. Obviously, all these guys are testing tomorrow. Breakout year for Johnson. Go watch that Nebraska game. That like little swing screen he took, whatever it was, the swing, and broke like 8 tackles to basically win the game for Iowa. Very fun player. Then there's Jourdan James, the Oregon back, who had a bunch of different combine meetings, including the Dallas Cowboys. Listening to Schottenheimer say he only wants some guys with contact balance and wants some guys with vision. I think James can fit that mold. I think he could use some work as a pass catcher. I don't think he's an explosive player. I think he's a really intriguing pairing with an explosive back in a committee. I think he's a bit more in kind of like the Rico Dowdle mold, but maybe he tests better than I think he's going to. I think he's got, day 2, worst case early day 3, likely draft range. Dylan Sampson is the type of guy I would like to pair with the Rico Dowdle, an explosive back, big play machine, even in a Tennessee offense that is not replicable as it relates to the NFL. Not only is that passing offense very quarterback friendly and kind of Mickey Mousey, when you have those massive splits and you got nobody in the box with the receivers out wide, that means no one's in the box, and you get a bunch of light boxes and Sampson can run all day. But he's explosive, and that Tennessee offense really struggled when he was unavailable to play in the CFP first round against Ohio State, which brings us to Quinshon Judkins, the Ohio State running back, who is a more powerful version than what Travion Henderson is. I think Jay Tuck had the scoop on this one, by the way, for being Cowboys Combine. Had a better year in 2024 than he did in 2023. Looked a little bit more like the 2022 version. That was the best version of Judkins we've seen. I don't think he has the same breakaway speed as running mate Travion Henderson does. Now, I will make note here, as I asked you guys, name a running back you guys want to draft. It's a deep class, a lot of names. For whatever reason, the running backs were delayed today. Not all of them got to speak at the podium. Some of them came in way late. Some of them I couldn't get to because there was, it's quarterbacks, receivers, running backs all the time. So I would bet there are more than just the 5 backs that we know that were combine formals. I would not be surprised if it approached more like 10. So I did want to make note of that. That didn't talk to I didn't get to talk to Cam Scadaboo, didn't get to talk to others, but there are several players that I think could still be other formal visits. All right, let's move to the defensive backs. We did not get to discuss these on Thursday, along with the tight ends. So I don't think I missed any tight end formal meetings. Maybe I missed one of them, but I think it was all DBs here. Jahdae Barron. This is one of my favorite players, and I don't know how well he's going to test. His arm length is not great. It came in higher than I think some people had feared for him. He is a good football player. Sometimes, even as someone who values the athletic testing and the measurables, sometimes you just got to not overthink things and go, yeah, all that guy did was make plays. And that translates to the NFL, especially at that level for Texas. I think he is a first-round pick. I don't think he should get out of the top 15. It's reminiscent of Brian Branch last year for me. I would. You lose Jourdan Lewis, this is your ideal replacement. Will Johnson, also a combine meeting for the Dallas Cowboys. That is the Michigan cornerback. Now, Johnson's still working his way back from some medical stuff. So the 40 time is a bit of a question mark still. I think you're going to have some chaos in the draft of surprising sliders, surprising guys going super early. Will Johnson could maybe be there for you at number 12, given the uncertain long-term futures of Trayvon Diggs and really every starter on your cornerback room, with Lewis a free agent, Diggs long-term question marks, and Bland long-term question marks as well. Benjamin Morrison, who was actually delayed yesterday, and we had to hang around and wait for him, which I'm glad we did. The Notre Dame corner. Now, this could be what we call the Blue Star Special, which is pure talent-wise. Hey, maybe he's got a first-round grade from him. But there's a big red flag. And in this case, the big red flag is the medicals. Benjamin Morrison has had 2 hip surgeries, one in high school, one this past year in 2024. As something very loud just fell and broke at the radio row here, so that's unfortunate. You guys heard on the mic, apologies. Morrison is, I like him a lot. I think he's a very good player. But this is one of those picks that, your team doctor gets to make a lot of influence on. All right, Maxwell Hairston, who so far, of all the guys I've gotten a chance to talk to, has been my favorite one. I desperately want my corners to have a borderline insane attitude and mindset of just you don't respect the opponent across from you. And you are convinced you are that guy. You got that dog in you. You are insane. You are a psychopath. Because you get beat as a corner. You do. It happens. You're not going to win every rep. If you're winning half your reps, you're doing a great job as a corner. And Maxwell Hairston has that mindset. He has that. He told us that one word to describe his game is locksmith, because if he's one-on-one and against you, he thinks he's going to lock you up. He told us, quote, "Get your popcorn ready. I'm going to put on a show at the Combine." So we'll see in an hour or something, 2 hours or whatever it is, see how well Hairston ends up performing. He got that dog in him, though, and I love that mindset out of my corner. Trey Amos, I won't go too long here because we did mention him on the Wednesday video that had been reported by Ryan Fowler. Said he had a good interview, by the way, with the Cowboys at the Combine. We'll have more coverage for you. Hit that sub button if you haven't already, youtube.com/@CowboysTV. Couple quick notes here. I know that they'd been reported Malachi Starks, Kobe Bryant, and Zy Alexander of Georgia, Kansas, and LSU, respectively, were formal visits. Talked with Nick Harris over the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, my boy. Sounds like these are actually informal, and it was just some player confusion, which happens. Sometimes players just get confused with what's formal and informal because they've got a lot going on. Some guys don't even remember who the hell they met with because it's just so chaotic. So Starks, Bryant, Alexander, not actually formals.